Hello, my name is Chris and today I want to talk to you about staying safe, sane and sober over the Christmas holiday period. Especially for those who are, like me, recovering alcoholics or who just prefer to stay sober. It's coming up in just a few weeks' time, and obviously Christmas can be a very exciting time of year. Not just because it has my name in it and makes me feel special, but because there are lots of parties and family get-togethers and celebrations to go to, because we give each other gifts and sing songs and go play outside in the snow. It can be the most magical time of year. But let's be honest, it can also be the most stressful time of year, especially for those who, again, like me, are recovering alcoholics or who just prefer staying sober. Because not only do we have all the added stress and pressure of like, oh my goodness, I've got gifts to buy and dinner to plan and family to arrange to meet, but I've got to deal with being around alcohol so much more than I do at other times of year. More so than any other time. We go to these parties and celebrations and there is booze everywhere. We go to the store and it's like, hey, buy this wine for your Christmas dinner. Then some well-meaning friend, maybe from work or somewhere else, says, hey, I thought about you and I got you a gift. And they don't know, so they're like, here's a bottle of wine or a bottle of whiskey. And we're like, oh no. But it doesn't have to be so bad. If this is your first time seeing me on your screen, then hello again. As I say, my name is Chris and I am now just a little bit over 6 years sober, coming up for my 7th sober Christmas. Wow, it's been a long time. My 7th sober Christmas. And over the past 6 Christmases, I've learned a few things about how to best keep myself safe, sane and sober over the Christmas period that I'm going to share with you today. If this video sounds a little familiar to you, it's because I made a similar one last year, but 12 months down the line I thought I could do a better job. I thought I could make this more concise and more helpful for my YouTube friends. And that is what I'm going to try to do today. Okay, first things first, let's tackle all those parties and events and celebrations and family get-togethers that we get invited to at this time of year. Now, obviously we are under no obligation to go to any of them. If we are shy or introverted or we just don't want to go, then nobody can make us go. But at the same time, we're under no obligation to stay home either. Just because we are sober doesn't mean that we have to miss out on all the fun. We can still go to parties and we can still go to get-togethers and we can still go to celebrations. It's just about being vigilant, staying safe and having a plan. One thing that I found so helpful for me over the past 6 years, not just at Christmas but at other times as well, is if I'm going to a party or a celebration or whatever it is, that I have what I call an exit strategy. You might call it an escape plan or a get me out of here now plan. Just there may come a point for you, that quite often does for me, when it's like, okay, I've been around alcohol and I've been around drunk people for long enough now that it's time to take myself out of this situation. And it might not be because there's just lots of booze around and you're tempted to join in. It may be that, but it may just be that, you know what, you've been around drunk people long enough and they're starting to get so badly on your nerves. This happens to me quite a lot. The drunk people are starting to get so badly on your nerves that you're getting stressed out, and that stress could lead to a drink, and it's like, okay, well now I just need to take myself out of this situation. So what I do if I'm going to something like that, I sort of think very carefully beforehand about, if I have to remove myself from this situation, how am I going to do it? And it might be that, you know, if you drive yourself to and from the event. You don't get a taxi, you don't get a lift with anyone. You might not even offer anybody a lift. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but for me, when you try and tell drunk people that it is time to go, if they're dependent on you for a lift, they're like, no, let's stay and have one more drink. And it gets really annoying trying to convince those people that, look, we've all got to go. So I find it more helpful just to take responsibility for myself, plan my own exit strategy where nobody's dependent on me and I'm not dependent on anybody else to leave that situation. You know, if I can't drive, it might mean that I take extra money for a taxi, or, you know, I figure out some way of getting to a nearby hotel, or whatever the strategy may be. Whilst I'm at these events, I tend to find that nobody really bothers about the fact that I'm not drinking. Nobody really notices. But every now and again people do, and they want an explanation because it's weird for them. Now again, we don't owe anybody an explanation. We don't have to explain. We certainly don't have to go into the thing of, well, I don't drink because I used to drink to excess and now I'm a recovering alcoholic, and if I have one drink I'll have 20 more and then I'll cause a fight. We don't have to go into all that. One of the greatest things that have ever happened to me in sobriety happened to me about probably 3 or 4 Christmases ago now. We had a big family Christmas. It was my family and my brother's girlfriend's family. And over Christmas dinner the champagne came out and it's been passed around the table, and somebody from my brother's girlfriend family who didn't know me that well said, oh, Chris doesn't have any, and went to pass me the champagne. I swear to you, everything went into slow motion. He's there trying to pass this champagne to me. My family are like, no, don't do it, don't give him any alcohol. Ah. To this day it makes me laugh so much, because it's just the over the top reactions from people. So then obviously these people have made this big of a deal out of it, so now I've got to explain, like, no, I don't drink. But again, I don't have to offer them the full explanation. I didn't even have to say anything. I just, you know, I could have just said I don't drink, you know, but I have this story in my head where I just say I don't drink, it doesn't agree with me, I don't enjoy being drunk, so I just don't drink. That's all that I need to say to people. If people then start pushing it, they're like, well, come on, you can just have one. It's Christmas. Just have one. I find that the kind of people who are persistent and who are adamant that I drink aren't the kind of people who really care about me. Because the people who care about me and the people that I care about know that, you know, alcohol plus Chris is a bad combination, so we won't try and force it on him. You know, and even if they don't know it, if those people are not willing to respect the fact that I don't drink, then they're not the kind of people that I want to be around. You know, so I'll just make my excuses, like, you know, if that's happening, go on, just have one. It's Christmas, just have one. So then I can say, not right, this is what I've said once, not right now, I may do later, excuse me, I have to go to the bathroom, or I have to go somewhere, I have to go and take a call. That's always a good one. Just get myself out of those situations. Oftentimes I've noticed that the kind of people who pressure are the kind of people who may have a problem themselves. I probably shouldn't say that, but I'm going to. You know, so I'll just remove myself from them and maybe go and, you know, find them again later when I'm sober and say, you know, how are you doing? And, you know, and if they do want any help, then I can offer it then. But again, that's not a prerequisite. It's just about being mindful about going into those situations and having a plan to keep myself safe and sane, because like I say, it can be very stressful in those situations if everybody's drinking and you're dealing with drunk people, and to get out of there sober. Next, let's talk about gifts. As I say, there can be those times over the next few weeks when someone who doesn't know us that well but has a good heart and good intentions say, here, I thought about you, here's a bottle of wine or a bottle of whiskey or a bottle of whatever, Merry Christmas. I'm like, oh no, I can't keep this. We don't have to be mean and we don't have to be rude about it. We don't have to say, don't you know I'm a recovering alcoholic and this could kill me? What are you doing, you idiot? That's not very kind and it's not very loving. What we can do instead is just to say, thank you, this is very thoughtful, and then we can just go and re-gift that somewhere else. There'll be a family member who will appreciate it, or a friend who will appreciate it, or a charity or a church who will appreciate it. Not to get drunk, but to, to include it in. I know a lot of people do, like they'll raffle away a Christmas hamper, or they'll have some kind of competition. We can give it to them to give away as a prize. I'm not entirely sure on the rules about that, but there will be people where we can give this alcohol away and we can re-gift it without having to hang on to it. On the subject of gifts and hanging on to alcohol, I found that this year more than at any other time of year is the one time of year when it almost seems okay to keep alcohol in the house. There's never any desire or any need to keep alcohol in the house in like May or August or whenever, because I don't drink it, so I don't need it. At Christmas there is that temptation of, well, I'll buy alcohol as a gift for somebody else, or I know that my family will come round on Christmas Eve, so I'll get alcohol in for them. Try not to do that. Obviously it's not as easy if you have other people in your house who do drink and do drink safely and want to keep booze. But if you live in a sober house like I do, then I advise not bringing booze into the house over Christmas, because it just makes it easier to relapse. I'm not saying that that if you bring booze into the house you are definitely going to drink it. I'm not saying if you keep booze out of the house then you're definitely going to stay sober. I know for me that if, the way my alcoholic thinking works, if I make my mind up that I am definitely going to have a drink, then it doesn't matter whether that alcohol is across the room or across the country, I will go and find it. But what happens is being mindful that Christmas can be a stressful time of year, and it can make us more stressed and it can make us more, tempted to have that one drink. When it's in the house, there are less obstacles between us and the alcohol, giving us less time to change our mind and come to our senses. If I am at home and I decide I'm going to have a drink, then I have to get dressed, I have to put my shoes on, I have to go and find my wallet, I have to leave the house, I have to walk to the store, I have to go into the store, find the booze, take it to the counter, buy it, take it home and drink it. That is a lot of steps between me and actually drinking the alcohol. It is quite a long time for me to go, actually, do you know what, this is a really bad idea, I shouldn't do it, turn around and go home and stay sober for another day. If the alcohol is 20 feet away from me under the Christmas tree, then the only steps I have are get off the sofa, get the alcohol and drink it. I give myself less time to change my mind. I find that, if people do come round and they want to drink, again, the kind of people I let into my home are the kind of people who care about me enough, to not want me to drink. So I can say to them, look, you're welcome to drink, but bring your own and please take it away with you. And if I do end up buying alcohol for somebody, I quite often buy alcohol for my sister's boyfriend because I don't ever know what else to get him. But I'll buy it and then I'll go and hide it at my parents' house, and I drop it off straight from the store and leave it there until Christmas Day. Speaking of the stress of Christmas, obviously anything we can do to alleviate stress and to make things calmer and simpler for us is going to help us stay away from those thoughts and temptations of having one drink to just settle things down. Now, this is not a video about how to have a simple Christmas. I'm not the expert on that at all. But I would say things like, for now, have a plan and a budget and stick to it. And importantly, stop striving for the perfect Christmas. Like, we have to get everybody the most perfect gift. Christmas dinner has to be amazing. We have to, we have to have like a fairy tale Christmas. And we put all this added stress and all this added pressure on ourselves. And then we don't meet this unattainable standard, this unattainable level that we've set for ourselves. And we feel so disappointed and so that we've let ourselves down. And all this disappointment adds to all the stress, and we just say, you know what, screw it, I'm just having a drink. And then we've thrown sobriety down the toilet. So it's about just being realistic. You know what, Christmas isn't about everything being perfect, it's just about being with the people that we love. That's all that matters. Finally, let's talk about the post-Christmas relapse. It's often been said that the period when most recovering alcoholics or most sober people relapse isn't Christmas itself, but is the weeks after Christmas, when we start to let our guard down a little bit. Over the holidays, we are hyper vigilant. We are aware that there is alcohol everywhere. We are aware that there is temptation everywhere. We are aware that there is stress and pressure everywhere. So we put our guard way up. We put our defenses way up. We are super vigilant about going into the world and knowing alcohol is going to be there, but we are ready, we are armed and ready, and we are not going to drink, we are going to stay sober. Christmas comes, Christmas goes, and it's like, phew, I survived, I got through that. I can start to let my defenses down. I can start to let my guard down. And we let them down so far that we leave ourselves open to all the daily stresses and pressures and triggers that may make us drink at other times of year. Like we stop being super vigilant, but we become so, whatever the opposite word for vigilant is, we stop being super vigilant and just become, very complacent. Like, okay, we survived Christmas, we can survive anything. And then before we know it, it's like a normal trigger, a normal stress leads us to a drink. So after Christmas, please do not become complacent. Please do not think, well, oh, okay, I survived that, I have nothing else to worry about now. Whatever it is you do to keep yourself safe, sane and sober at other times of year, please after Christmas keep that up. I hope this has been helpful for you, or just giving you something to think about. This video is actually based on an article that I wrote last Christmas that you can find on medium.com. I will put the link down in the description below if you'd like to check that out. I also put extra content on my Patreon, which you can find at chrisscoyles.com/support or patreon.com/chrisscoyles. Finally, thank you very much for watching. For more videos like this on a weekly basis, please do consider subscribing. Did you hear how high my voice went then? Subscribing. I wish you all a safe, wonderful and very happy Christmas. I will see you next week. Goodbye.